Hey, Hector.
Are we cracking a cold one with Colbs?
No, but we have to later this week.
Yes, we do.
I'm afraid for the calendar. Its days are numbered.
Kind of like the Cowboys.
Hello, and welcome to another episode of Breaking Down the Tape. I'm Zach.
Stop my balls.
And that is Hector.
Yeah, stop my balls. Fuck you guys. We haven't been here for we missed last week. Sorry about that. We missed last week, but suck my balls. I got a lot of shit to talk.
As usual. So yeah, Hector's right. We missed last week. I was on a little bit of a vacation. I'm the man behind the curtain who does all the editing and shit. So since I was gone, we were gone. But hopefully you guys enjoyed Hector on live on Thursday. So thank you for being able to do that for me. And
I don't think they like me as much without you.
I know. I'm the beauty behind the operation. You're just the the wit.
Yeah, I was just trying to be an asshole.
Oh, really? I'm shocked.
I actually try to be a Zach, and I think that failed me.
I don't know. I was in and out. Like I said, I was on vacation. I was on the beach, dealing with the kid and stuff. So I was in and out, so I didn't catch too much.
We had a few guys in and there. You know how live is.
That's all right. But this week, we're going to do a little bit of around the world of sports. We got a trivia question. We want to talk a little bit about Richard Sherman. And we're going to talk some fantasy because the long-awaited Degenerates are back.
Season 4.
So we're going to be shooting a separate Degenerates episode after this and publishing that as well this week. So stay tuned in for that. And Hector, take us away with Around the World of Sports, brother.
All right, guys. All right. So we're going to hit it real quick. And there's not too much craziness going on right now, but just enough craziness. So we're going to hit the NHL. Season just ended, but we all know that the Seattle Kraken is up and coming. Now, they just announced that, who was it? Okay, right here. Marshawn Lynch, Sean Kemp, and Sue Bird, they're all prime Seattle players for their respective sports, basketball, football, and baseball.
Yep.
They will be announcing the Kraken's expansion draft picks. And that would be, I think, on Wednesday. So when everybody hears this.
Yep, it's coming up. It's coming up this week. They've already started to sign some free agent players because they're in the ability to do that. Teams are making their decisions on who they can protect and who they can't protect. So yeah, well, it's going to be interesting. There's been some talk about Carey Price potentially, the goalie, from the Canadiens that the Kraken are looking to draft, but there's some injury concerns there. So it's gonna be an interesting rest of the week to see who goes where and what the NHL will look like for the next season.
Now, do you think they'll do it to the extreme of the Golden Knights? 3 years ago? Before I'm sorry to cut you off, but mind you, this is the first time I think in our entire lifetime we've seen we've seen expansion teams come and go, but back to back within like a 5-year span, 2 expansion teams.
Right. No, I agree with you. I mean, we saw something relatively similar in like the late 90s, early 2000s, but I mean, we were fucking like 8 and 10 years old, you know what I mean? Barely able to fucking comprehend it in the NFL. But as far as your original question, I do. I think that they will maybe pull off the gas a little bit, but you don't want to set up a new team for failure. And with the extreme success monetarily, not just on the ice, but the extreme success financially that they've seen the Golden Knights have, I have a feeling that they're going to want to perpetuate that and start the Kraken off as a good team.
Yeah, like we've had this talk where why don't they get like the 15th pick in the draft or 16th pick in the draft, and you know they get a bunch of you know being you know they get 1 or 2 A-level players, but they get a bunch of you know B, C, and D level players.
Right.
Where instead of like how the Golden Knights, they were just fucking bomb squad. Like it was like them looking for the Golden State Warriors.
Right, right. No, I agree with you. We've talked about it, and I would like for them to figure that out. But I think it's been so long with the shitty drafts for the expansion. We had one amazing draft for the expansion, and they're still trying to figure out the middle ground. But in my mind, money talks. So they're going to, you know, since you saw such an influx of money, you know, into the league and into the Knights, they're going to lean more towards the money than they are fucking over an expansion.
It's just, I mean, I know there's always going to be that influx, I guess, with the money situation. Where some teams, obviously, they're solidified no matter how long they've been around.
Right.
Then you get a new team that comes in that all the money's getting milked into, and then you got the teams that just don't get, you know, they've been around but they don't get much.
Right, right.
It's just weird how, and I hope they figure it out, the system when you bring an expansion team in. So you bring the expansion team in, and then, you know, you're trying to like kind of reinvent the draft because now what you're doing is you're drafting players out of a team to go to a team, and then you're going to have a draft.
Right, right, right.
And it's just like now you're putting even one, you're setting, like if you don't figure out the perfect balance or some type of perfect balance, the new team could potentially set themselves up to be great and then hit the draft and get a great draft pick while the teams are giving up the shit that they were trying to build.
Right.
And then they lose some of the shit and now they got to rebuild.
Right. Right. Which is why they allow teams to protect. And now, if somebody out there is a better hockey fan than I am and can delve more depth into this, I would love for you to reach out and let me know specifically how it works. But you do have X amount of players based off of, I guess, like your salary cap and all of these things that you get to protect. So there is some kind of way to, you know, shore up your borders, but you're still leaving people exposed. And like we saw with the last expansion draft, you can leave big names exposed, like Marc-Andre Fleury, you know. So where the middle ground is, I don't know. But personally, I'm in favor of leaning towards making the expansion team good because I find it as a hockey fan to be super exciting for, you know, guys to upset the status quo. So.
Gotcha. Well, we're going to shoot over to the MLB now. The MLB has been hot and spicy. The All-Star break was fantastic. Everything went great. The home run derby, like people thought Ohtani was going to just walk away with it.
I did as well. I thought he was just going to clean fucking house.
Didn't happen. Ended up being a back-to-back Pete Alonso, a New York Met.
Did you see what happened after that, by the way? With Pete Alonso. Apparently, now I don't know the full story, and I know you're not on TikTok, but I've seen various TikToks from, I guess, people who were around him or video of the situation. They tried to kick him out of a bar later that night. So Pete Alonso comes out here, wins the home run derby. I guess he goes out to drink with friends. Now, the video that I've seen shows Pete standing there with like with a drink in his hand and like a bewildered look on his face. It's not like he's pushing and shoving. He's not like tripping and falling all over the place. He's literally sitting there like questioning life and what is going on right now. What led up to the circumstance of that, I do not know. Was part of his crew acting crazy? Was he acting crazy? And then when the camera was on, he stopped. I don't know. I haven't seen anything from it. But apparently, I guess later that night, whatever bar he went to tried to kick him out.
Holy shit.
So he won a home run derby, and then you can get the fuck out.
Yeah, he won the home run derby, and they got mad.
Right? Goodbye.
I'm mad. It was good that he won the home run derby. Congrats to him. The home run derby was a success. They had some great guys with Ohtani, Soto, you know, all those guys. And then going on to keep on with the Mets. Have you seen? So obviously you haven't been attracted to the world lately. The Mets manager gets suspended 2 games.
I did see this, and I was going to ask you about it if you didn't bring it up. Yes.
He gets suspended 2 games because there was a dribbler down the line. The pitcher goes while it was trying to be out of bounds or foul, I should say.
Right.
You know, he tries to swipe it to keep it out of bounds at the foul. Apparently was on the chalk. Fair ball. 3-run score. The Mets manager goes, shit. That's fucking tossed. Comes out that the ump was actually right.
I saw that. So yes, I did. I didn't see it in real time, but I obviously have seen replays. So when I saw the replay in real time, I thought it was foul. Like, I was like, there's no way that's fair. What the fuck is going on here? No wonder he went fucking apeshit. I'd do the same thing. And then they're showing like the overhead and where the ball is, and technically the ball was on the line, making it a fair ball when the pitcher fucking booted it 30 yards, you know, off fucking screen there. So technically it's a fair fucking ball. Now, if I was the manager, I get it in the moment, you know, you lose your shit on the umps because bang, bang, play, that shit looked foul. But afterwards, I'm beating the shit out of whoever that fucking pitcher was. My dude you saw the replay? My dude saw the ump fucking point fair, and the ump didn't wait. It's not like the ump stood around and waited and was like, oh my God, I wonder what this is. He made a quick fucking decision, pointed fair, and what the fucking pitcher do? Instead of going to make the play, started throwing a fucking temper tantrum. Bro, let replay make your argument for you. You have got to go make the play. Go save a run. Go do something. Don't stand there for 30 seconds arguing. Like, that's crazy to me. It's like a fucking quarterback that throws an interception and would rather sit there and pout than go try and make the tackle.
No, like, 100%. 100%. Like,
that's my big takeaway, to be honest.
My thing is, when I saw him, like, he used his glove. He used his actual glove to try to swipe the ball away. So it looked originally when he swiped the ball that he shucked that shit into the stands.
I saw that shit.
So I'm like, wait, it should be dead ball.
Right.
Tony score.
Right. Well, so that's the interesting part is, didn't it go off of the net to stay inbounds and play, I guess?
So how the fuck is that inbounds then? I mean, I didn't see if it did, but if it did.
Like, my mentality, and you're the baseball guy, so correct me if I'm wrong, say on a fucking pop-up foul ball, the ball hits the net, slides down, and you make the catch, that's not enough.
No, it's out of bounds because obviously it's hitting the top, you know.
Right. So by the exact same logic, if you fucking boot the ball into the fucking net and the net saves it from going into the stands, does that not count as out of bounds and a ground rule double? Like, am I wrong on that?
No, 100%. I think you're right. To me,
it's your point. It's your point.
Like, that's why I don't like the net. Like, I get the sense of the net. I get the reason of the netting. I get everything why the netting is there.
Right.
But when it comes to shit like this,
right,
then you want to change the rule and be like, oh, but.
Right. I hear you. Rob Manfred, we need answers because we are confused. And speaking of, I don't know if you've got this on your list, but I saw that there was a couple of proposed rule changes for next year that Rob Manfred came out with to include the DH for the National League, ending this whole fucking runner starting at second for extra innings, which I agree with that.
So no more seventh inning fucking
double headers.
No more runners starting at second. Going back to old natural baseball, there's been a lot of hoopla about how people feel about it. Oh, okay.
Yeah, I saw a
baseball
couple
is
of
the
them.
way it is. Why change it?
I'm okay with most of them. The whole DH making the DH universal. I don't know. I kind of disagree with that. I like that little back and forth and that chess match that you see managers have to pull in like the World Series and shit.
Mm-hmm.
I really enjoy that, so I don't think the DH should be universal. But other than that, yeah, fuck that runner starting on second bullshit. Fuck 7 inning fucking doubleheaders. That's fucking stupid. So yeah, no, I agree with most of those.
I mean, I get the whole, because I've always been an advocate for, if you're on the field, you hit. So a pitcher should hit. I mean, we grew up our entire lives learning to play every fucking position, hitting, pitching, and all. And then when we get to high school, we're still doing it. But then you get to college, and they're like, okay, this is what you are.
Right. I guess I agree to an extent. I want to make the comparison then NFL players should play both ways, but I get that that's a pretty shitty comparison.
No, because in high school, you play offense, or you play offense. Get it. You play offense and defense, but you figure out where you're best at.
No, and I appreciate that. And it's a completely different fucking sport. Hitting a baseball and fucking going out and making a tackle as a quarterback playing fucking cornerback is not a great thing. So no, I appreciate that, I guess. I appreciate that.
Staying on the MLB, fuck Boston. Our fans hit him in the back with a baseball. So what?
See, I disagree with you there. I think
he deserves it. He deserves it. I'm just saying it's Boston, so fuck that dude.
Oh, you're saying the fan deserves the ban and shit. Okay.
Yeah, he deserves the ban, but fuck Boston. Because
I thought you were going to say the player deserves the ball getting thrown at him. Like, hold on.
He does still. He still does. It's Boston. Like, he still does. It's Boston. But it's wrong for what had happened.
Right.
And the fact that these Boston fans want to come out and be like, oh my God. Bro, did you not just realize that the Boston Celtics started the whole NBA bullshit where people were fucking throwing shit at people?
It's crazy. So like I said before, I'm on TikTok, and there are so many Boston. Obviously, I live on the sports side of TikTok. All of these Boston fans are coming out, and baseball fans in general are just trying to shit all over the Yankees, especially now because of that instance. Worst fan base in all of sports, blah, 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 blah. And there's one Boston fan in particular, I don't even know his fucking name. He keeps on coming out, and he's like, well, I feel like shitting on the Yankees more, and had 10 videos in a row on it. I'm like, bro, we just live rent-free in your head, don't we? My God, we don't even think about you people unless we're fucking playing you. You just can't even help but have our name on your tongue. Holy shit.
Anyway, done with the MLB. And mind you, the Yankees took the fucking series against the Red Sox. Where are you Boston fans at? Let me hear you. Oh, I can't.
Did you see my drunken sports me battle on Saturday night?
Oh, man, that shit was awesome. I was like, yo, you're ripped.
I barely remember what I said. I just remember shooting the video.
Guys, I'm like, yeah.
Dude, was I really that bad?
No, I could see the mumble.
Right. Yeah, I was trying real hard, man. I finished off a bottle and a half of fucking Dogfish Head Sonic Archaeology, which is fucking pure liquor. So excuse me for that.
Let's finish this up.
Let's do it.
NBA. We got the Suns. We got the Bucks. Tonight, it's Monday, but Wednesday, when everyone hears this, they will know and be ready, if so, for a Game 7.
Where the Bucks will win. The Bucks lose tonight, Monday night, and the Bucks will win on Wednesday night. That's my prediction.
You're saying Bucks in 7.
I've said Bucks in 7 since last series. Receipts, baby. Receipts.
I mean, my Bucks in 6. My Suns in 6 isn't gonna happen because that's what I kept saying.
Right.
So that's out of the water.
Do you want to switch over to the dark side and take the Bucks in 6?
I I mean, I'm not against any team. I just wanted Chris Paul to finally win a chip. Giannis got time.
Right. That's fair.
But I'm okay with any one of them winning, honestly. And
I'm okay with that.
And it just sucks. Like I said it the other day to a buddy, and I was like, if the Suns go down 3-2 to the Bucks, and they got to go into Milwaukee to try to win a game to go back to Phoenix, they're gonna lose.
So then you think the Bucks taking it tonight?
I think the Bucks take this one. I think the Bucks take this one, but I still have a Suns in 7 because I think the Suns win it in 7 if it goes 7.
I see. So I got you. So if the Suns can make it past tonight, then they're locked to win Game 7.
Yeah, because they're back home and they can try to figure out something. But it is very hard after losing 3 in a row to go into Milwaukee and win a game.
I hear that. Yeah, I mean, I've been on the Bucks for a bit now. I'm a casual basketball fan at best, but I'll still 6 or 7. I'll still stay with 7, but 6 or 7, I'm taking the Bucks.
So before we end the NBA section, we shoot over to the rest of our show. And Finals MVP, and I want both takes, both teams. Who do you got?
Jesus, I don't know nearly enough to not take the obvious picks. So if it's the Bucks, I'm taking Giannis. If it's the Suns, I'm taking Chris Paul. Simply because I don't know nearly enough to make arguments for anybody else.
All right. There's been some arguments where Giannis and Middleton can go back and forth. People are saying Middleton. I'm saying Giannis only because he's had all the key moments. He's averaged he's showed up every single game, even though Middleton was there for the winning games.
Right.
And on the other side, I will say Chris Paul. Now I change my answer for the Suns.
Okay.
I'm actually going to change it. I'm going to say Booker. Booker has been averaging over 30 points this whole finals.
No shit.
And no one's has said anything. He's averaged almost 28, 29, almost 30 points in the finals.
No shit. I didn't realize
Chris Paul fell off the last 2 games. Chris Paul, I think game 3 or game 4 was where Booker didn't show up. He only dropped 10 points, but the other 3 games.
Right. Okay. Fair enough. I've heard both Middleton and Booker's names thrown around as well. But like I said, I just personally don't know enough to make arguments for them. But I feel like that's fair.
I saw what I said. That's the end of Around the West Sports.
And we're back with our trivia question of the week. Like we said before, it's been a couple of weeks, so I don't even remember what the last trivia question was.
Honestly, I can't. But I think I was right.
You were. That's all I know. So,
anyway. People are like, yo, they're bullshitting. They're just saying it.
100%. Like we always say, it's my goddamn podcast. I get to make the rules. So this week's question, since we've missed you guys for 2 weeks, I've decided to be ridiculously hard and make it almost impossible for you to answer. Seriously. Which longtime college coaching great finished second in the 1956 Heisman voting to Paul Hornung?
Say again?
I'll give you options for this too. Which longtime college coaching great finished second in the 1956 Heisman voting behind Paul Hornung? A is Bear Bryant. B is Vince Dooley. C is Johnny Majors. And D is Steve Spurrier. So
Vince
basically,
Dooley. That's where I'm going.
You went Vince Dooley. So one more time for the people in the back. Basically, the question boils down to who finished second in Heisman voting in 1956. That's the crux of the question. So this is obviously inspired by recent events, and it's a question that we've asked of this veteran free agent a couple of times. Where is he going? What does he have next in his career? But now I guess the question has turned to, is Richard Sherman's career done? And this was actually inspired by you on SportsMe, who asked that very same question the other day. So for everyone who doesn't know what's going on with Richard Sherman, he was arrested for burglary, domestic violence on like Thursday of last week or something to that effect. Which basically means that no, he didn't beat anybody. But I guess
and he didn't really break into any house.
Right. But I guess burglary, domestic violence is something to the effect of he didn't leave his spouse's general vicinity when asked and forced
and he caused damage.
Right. He was, I guess prior to that, it was found out that he was drunk driving, ran into like a telephone pole or something to that effect, didn't run into anybody else, fled the scene on foot, ran to his in-laws, his father-in-law's house where I guess his wife and kids were, and tried breaking down the door. If you haven't seen the video to this point, I don't necessarily encourage it. It's kind of scary. I mean, I'm a big dude, but Richard Sherman's a bigger dude, you know, and he would hurt me.
He was definitely not breaking down the tape. He was breaking down something else.
Oh, yo, big facts. That door, by the way, like this is going to be like the one joking portion of this that I might crack, is that door has the best defense in the NFL. I mean, holy Jesus Christ. Anyway, because that thing didn't like it. He was not like knock, knock, knock. You know, where's Johnny? Like he was.
Nah, he was fucking sucking it like he had a whole crew behind him with the battery ram.
I've seen Richard Sherman hit grown men that hard and watch them fold. So that door is on some next level shit. Whoever is the like manufacturer of that door should use that as a commercial.
Call me.
Right. But he was originally arrested and held without bail, but since it's been knocked down to misdemeanors, I believe 4, and released on his own self-recognizance. Let me get your opinions, man. I mean, what the fuck is my original opinion?
I wasn't expecting it from Richard Sherman. You know, I wasn't expecting it from him. We all know people go through their own things. They're humans. They have their outside life. They have their trials and tribulations. They have, you know, anxiety, depression, all that stuff, CTE, whatever you want to call it. Well, it was just weird coming from him. And then to this extent, where, you know, he crashed in a construction zone. He fled the scene of his car. They found his car with no one there. They found him at, you know, it's crazy. It's just nuts. We hope that everything goes well for him.
Sure.
But you're a high priority member of the NFL Players Association.
Yeah, he's like the vice president, right? Or something
this
to that effect.
To me, this is it. You are done. This is Michael Jackson. This is it. You are done.
Really? So you think his NFL career is over?
How can you allow? I mean, first of all, it's different if, let's say, he was a few years younger, prime of his career. You can somewhat try to find a way to punish him and keep him in the league.
Sure.
At this point, you're out of the league. You're going on your 1 or 2 year deals now.
Right.
No one's gonna, especially because there's no way to justify what you did. The evidence is out there.
True. So I kind of have some follow-up questions that I've been thinking about. Do you think so? You know, obviously, like the father-in-law and his wife have come out multiple times, even on the 911 call, you know, saying this isn't like him, this isn't like him, and they were more afraid for him than they were themselves. Do you think that maybe in his personal life he's been exhibiting some of these behaviors because he hasn't been signed, or do you think those two things are just completely unrelated, right? Like, he hasn't been signed by an NFL team because it's business. He's up there in his career. He's like a fucking 14-year veteran or whatever, you know, and he's just getting old and can't play at the level that a lot of teams would want him. Or do you think that it's some of that mixed with, hey, we've been kind of seeing some of these erratic behaviors and not really going to play out well for us kind of situation?
I think the team's not signing him. It's just, you know, the team's not signing him. Like you said, he's up there and he's almost 14, 15 years in the league.
Right.
Even at Richard Sherman's age, which I consider Richard Sherman a Larry Fitzgerald.
Right. Ageless.
Except Larry Fitzgerald never made you question him.
True.
Ever.
True.
Even on the field, you never questioned Larry Fitzgerald. I questioned Sherman on the field multiple times.
That's fair. That's a very fair statement.
Multiple. Even as great as he is, I questioned him multiple times.
So then I guess my follow-up is, say you're right, in his NFL career as we know it is done, does he, I've been quoted many times saying that if the Jets were to sign him, I wouldn't want him to play a fucking snap. Essentially, I would just want him as DB's coach. Do you think that coaching is in his future, or NFL PA work is in his future, or this really has killed the NFL for him in any way, shape, or form?
I don't see him anywhere near PA.
Really?
I don't see him anywhere near that. I because they don't want his face out there at this point.
You don't think that's a little harsh for a dude? Now, I know you brought this up before we got on air, but to my knowledge, you don't think that's harsh for a dude who's had one incident in the public eye? Name
a guy that is out there that after something like that, they're in the spotlight, like in the front of a camera. Name one.
I mean, I guess you're right.
It hasn't taken a while to get out of that bad spotlight to be able to be in the spotlight.
Right. In such a positive way. Now, I hear you, but you don't think that that's unfair in the slightest? You don't think that that's doing him dirty? I mean, this has been not just an average guy. This has been an upstanding member of both the NFL and his personal community. And now it is
that we know of.
That's fair.
Like I said, I think there was other law enforcement infractions that he's had, which that doesn't mean much. You mean you can read between the lines of some of these infractions, but
right.
With the NFL, with having the video showing that you're an NFL PA top associate,
right?
You're trying to find a contract, and you go and like you're just doing this,
right?
Like I don't. Maybe eventually at some point he becomes a coach,
right?
But not off the rip.
No, I hear you.
It'll take a few years, but to play again, I don't think he'll play again.
That I agree with. As far as the NFLPA just throwing him away like that, I hear what you're saying. It's just so hard for me to think that an organization that stood up so heavily for, you know, Ray Rice or fucking Pac-Man Jones or, you know, fucking Hardy, you know what I mean? Like an organization that stood up for these guys as is part of their contract and what they're supposed to fucking do is going to throw away one of their top members.
Ray Rice never touched the field again.
Fair point.
He never touched the field again.
Fair point. Ray Rice was they stood up for him, but you're right, they did lose that. That is,
they barely stood up for him. They were not standing. The minute they saw that video of him pulling that was it. It was over.
All right, fair point. I lose on Ray Rice, but they stood up for Plexico Burress when he shot himself, and they stood up for fucking Pac-Man Jones.
Plexico played what, another year after that, and then was gone.
Plexico Burress was never really that good anyway. So
he won the Super Bowl.
Yes, Plexico Burress by himself won the Super Bowl.
Without a QB, no one was a Super Bowl. How about that one?
We really want to go there in this. We want to do another 45 minutes on that, just us screaming at each other again.
I'm just saying. You want us to say ridiculous shit, so I'm gonna say ridiculous shit.
Is that what it's gonna be? Zach says ridiculous shit.
Instead of Smurf, it should say Zach's. I say ridiculous shit.
Wait, what was it the other week? Wasn't it Zach starts conspiracy theories or some shit like that? But anyway, so no playing for Richard Sherman, eventually a coach. Do you see him just being like a positions coach in the future, or
I can see him being I don't see him really being a head coach. Right. I see him being a coach, assistant coach, CB coach, DB coach, whatever you want to. He could possibly be a coach in the league at some point. I just think right now they don't want him around the league right now.
He's got to keep it on the low. Fair enough. Yeah. What do you think? I know you kind of touched on it before about CTE. I don't want to say I think that it's involved, but I wouldn't be surprised if it was. What do you think caused all of this? Like, what possessed him to lose his ever-loving fucking mind?
Dude, you got me. You got me. Part of me wants to be like, because the minute it happened, I text you. Yeah. I was like, yo, bro, what the hell?
Yup.
And part of me wants to say, he is one of those DBs where he did hard hits and a lot of interceptions, and he was doing a lot of contact. So, yeah, we can say CTE. We can say the drinking might have done it. We can say he had something that we never even known of outside of everything.
Right.
3 whole different reasons. It's Fair just enough. So freaking weird.
Yeah, it came the fuck out of nowhere.
But people have been saying, okay, so they came out and they said that a couple years ago he was denied concealed carry. He's not allowed to hold a weapon anymore due to I think they wanted to say mental issues and something else. So he's not allowed to hold a weapon anymore. And then they also came out and I don't want to be wrong. They said something else, but it just brings up the speculation. Right. Of is it CTE? He had depression. He was on depression meds. He was on depression and anxiety meds. So it's like, is it CTE? Is it that he had something going on? Is it like is the NFL but you can't blame it on the NFL. This could be shit that I go through that. You go through that.
For sure. And like you said, and let me make it very clear to the fans, it is purely speculation. It is purely a topic that I wanted to bring up because I hold Richard Sherman in a high regard, and all of this just seemed very sudden and out of nowhere. So especially what caused it, what was the motivating factors behind it, that is true and pure speculation. No basis for anything. And Hector's 100% right when he says, well, you fucking got me. You know what I mean? With all of the, like you said, it could be the years of playing football. It could be just normal with huge quotation marks and average depression. And it could be the alcohol mixed with maybe some other things, or it just could have been the fucking alcohol. It could have been a bad motherfucking day. I mean, fuck, I don't know. It's fucking crazy to me. crazy to me.
But what sucks, and it's an ultimate final at this point, is when you're at the level that you're at, even just the simplest of mistakes ends it.
Yeah, and that's true. I mean, we've talked about a couple of times,
like
is Richard Sherman's career done? But yeah, I feel like this puts a nail in that coffin.
Yeah, like for me or you, like, we can go and have this incident go on. No one would ever have known that we got through it. We go to work the next day and we're fine.
Right.
But yeah, for him, it's all over the news. The world sees it.
Right. Yeah.
We're an organization that there's only one organization of the NFL. There's no NFL of the universe. There's only the NFL. Like, that's it. Like, there's no NFLs for multiple countries. It's only the NFL.
Right. You're so largely in the public eye, it's not even funny. And then, like you said, which, you know, it's being such a figure in the NFLPA, you know, the good guys against the bad guys of Roger Goodell and the suits of the NFL, you know, it's a bad fucking look, to put it simply. But yeah, man, I unfortunately agree. I don't want to agree, but I do unfortunately agree with you that his career has pretty much come to an end. And I think we're going to hear a lot less of Richard Sherman here, as he keeps his head down.
No Jets for him.
And since we're shooting the first Degenerates episode this week, tune in for that shameless plug. We have to talk some fantasy football, Hector. We have to.
I mean, being the reigning champ, I'm always ready to talk some fantasy football.
I need a soundboard that has bruh on it. So whenever you say being the reigning champ, I can just hit bruh every time.
Bruh. Anyway. Like make me a meme and be like, bruh.
We're not going to talk too much about the Degenerates in this episode. I am going to make you listen to the other one because that's just what we do. So get over it. But I do want to
what we said, motherfuckers. I haven't been saying I said what I said lately as much, but I do say what I say. Remember me.
But I do want to talk some fantasy sleepers. Now, I know, obviously, Christian McCaffrey is the #1 pick. Saquon Barkley, Alvin Kamara, you know, all these guys, everybody that everybody talks about, right? Duh. I want to know 1, 2, if you can come up with a third, I want to know fantasy sleepers. So for people who listen to this episode who aren't really like the biggest fantasy football people, sleepers are guys that you expect to do far better than what they're projected. They're projected to, just for round numbers, score 100 points the entire season. But you think they're going to score the 400 points the entire season because of whatever. So that being a fantasy sleeper. I'll let you go first. Give me one. We can kind of go back and forth. Who's like your top fantasy sleeper?
All right. So for me, and you're going to have to remind me on my second pick that I ended up telling you, but I'm going to go with J.K. Dobbins. J.K. Dobbins for the Baltimore Ravens. And I've actually picked him up a few times. And, you know, it was, you know, waiver drops and, you know, the last, I think, 2 years he's been in the league.
Last year he was a rookie, I believe.
J.K. Dobbins? Was it last year he was a rookie?
No. Nope. That's me. You're right. I was thinking of James Robinson for whatever reason from the Jags. No. You're right. That's me.
Yeah. So I would say J.K. Dobbins. The run game in Baltimore is phenomenal. He's done actually pretty fucking well over the last 2 years and just slowly picking up his stats and being a big part of that run game. The first year he was under the Mark Ingram shadow.
Right.
The second year, Last year he was a dual threat. It was him and I forgot who else they fucking had. They had, I think, 2 other running backs they were fucking running with.
Right.
But I think Dobbins, his speed, his strength, his ability to catch the ball out of the backfield actually bolsters his chance of getting most of the load on like the first reps, right, and have a really, really good I guess first starting season for him.
So my only, because I do agree with you for the most part with JK, my only fear, and I think a fear that makes him a sleeper, is, are you not concerned that Lamar Jackson has led the team in rushing yards?
No, because I know right now Lamar Jackson's really young.
Right.
And just like Michael Vick.
Right.
Yeah, they'll let him do what he has to do now, but they're eventually going to pull the reins on him and be like, bro, you can't keep doing that.
Right, right. And
if you want to preserve your career or your longevity of your career or whatever you want to do within the NFL, you can't keep running the ball.
That's fair. That's fair. I mean, I like J.K. Dobbins. I really do. It's just the style of offense that is Lamar Jackson makes me afraid for him.
Like right now, like what? Lamar Jackson had 2 back-to-back 1,000-yard seasons.
Yep.
I don't see a third.
You don't?
I don't see a third. I don't see a third. I don't see a fourth.
Okay.
I don't even see a fifth. He might maybe get one more in his career.
Right.
I don't see him getting multiple, and I don't see him getting more than just that one extra 1,000-yard seat. That's it. I don't see it.
Okay, so you're saying they're going to start to shift towards leaning on the running back core and J.K. Dobbins more.
Bro, you know football just as much as I do. How many running quarterbacks last?
They don't. It's why I hate them. That's fair.
It's good if you have it in your repertoire, but if it's your thing to go to,
it's not going to last long.
Not going to last.
My number 1 is actually a tight end, and I'm going with Logan Thomas on the Washington football team. So I think he proved himself a lot last year. He was a good tight end fantasy-wise and just in the sport of football. And again, we're talking like standard PPR, standard 1 point per reception. I like Logan Thomas for the simple fact of they don't really have much else in Washington. They don't really have like who's their running back there, because I like him.
Geis?
No, Geis isn't there anymore. It used to be Geis. I was just I know who it is.
That's what we know about them.
Right. I know who he had a good fantasy year last year too, because I had him, whoever the running back was. But
was it Gibson?
Gibson. Antonio Gibson. Thank you. I think Gibson is primed to have another good year, but I think passing wise, no matter who they have at quarterback, I think whether it's Fitzmagic, who loves his tight ends, or whether it's the kid that just fucking duked out. I'm losing names today. Heineke, thank you. I think Logan Thomas is going to be a sure-handed, big, physical tight end that's going to just rack up a lot of. You're not going to see like crazy amounts of touchdowns. I think you'll get average touchdowns. I don't think you're going to see crazy amounts of yards, but I do think you're going to see higher than average receptions. I think he's just going to rack up short to mid-range receptions and just points on points on points. I don't think stacking him with Heineke or Fitzmagic, since that's up in the air who's playing, I don't think that stack is a good stack, but I like Logan Thomas. I think he's going to solidify himself as one of the top tight ends in fantasy football.
So I like the Jordan Thomas pick. I mean, do you hear me?
Logan
Thomas pick. Excuse me, because I'm foreshadowing where I'm going. I like the Logan Thomas pick, but I feel like it's the opposite of Jordan Reed.
Okay.
So you're saying he's going to stack on receptions.
Right.
We know Reed as being a guy who can't really stay on the field, but he'll get you touchdowns.
True that. So then
he won't get many catches. He won't play many touches. He'll get you touchdowns. I see Logan Thomas as a guy who's going to get you a lot of receptions. And, you know, he's not going to be the touchdown guy for you, though.
Right. Right.
He's not going to be a touchdown guy.
So do you think it would be now? That's I don't know the answer to this because as I'm saying it out loud, it sounds fucking stupid. Would you stack Thomas and Reed?
No.
Yeah, that's I knew Reed it. I knew it as I was asking it.
Reed is done.
Yeah.
Reed is done. He probably won't ever see the field again.
I can agree with that. Is
He's
he even still on the fucking Washington football team?
No, I think they released him and he hasn't been signed.
Yeah, that's right.
From the last thing I've known.
Right. That makes sense. All right, give me your second sleeper.
So my second sleeper, let me look at my little handy dandy notebook, make sure I got it right. Say his name right, actually. Kadarius Toney from the New York Giants. Just got drafted.
Mm-hmm.
What was it? Second round?
First, I think.
Was it first round?
Like 20th pick or something to that effect.
Something like that. I'm going to give it to this guy. At first, I was very skeptical of why they picked him. But now I think about it, and I'm like, all right, so you got Kenny Galladay on one side. He's supposed to be the number one. Everyone is saying how this guy is going to blow up to be pretty much better than Galladay and be the number one of the Giants. But then I'm like, you know, that's all talk.
Right.
People always talk. Right. And you look at the film and you watch it and you're watching his interviews and you're watching his practices and the man can ball. And I do believe he has a extreme deep threat possibility.
Yeah, he can blow the doors off you for sure.
He's a great middleman, like those dig routes, those fucking mid routes. Yeah, it's not a guy that you're just gonna fucking bully around in there. He's gonna go in there, he's gonna get his licks, and he'll come up with catches.
So you're not stressed about him being a rookie at all?
No. I think on the Giants, there's enough on the squad to take pressure off of him. Right now, Barkley's coming back. There's more pressure on Barkley than him.
Right. Well,
you got Galladay coming into effect for the first year. More pressure on him being the number one than Toney. So while then you still got Shepard, who's a automatic on the Giants.
Right.
You got a couple key guys around that. They've been around on the team for a little bit and they know the system. So you can rely on them to start the season off and then try to, expand your horizon. But I don't feel like I feel like Barkley has more pressure than he does.
So then kind of a counterpoint to what you were just saying, with Shepard, with Galladay, with Saquon, with Evan Ingram, who is like the drop king, but still is going to get fed the ball. Are you worried about Toney not getting enough touches?
I'm not worried about that because you know why? I see Ingram, depending on how he plays, takes less reps to Rudolph. Rudolph is a better blocker than Ingram.
Right.
Rudolph
is not worried about the passes that are going to get thrown Toney's way at all. You think he's going to get fed just fine?
Toney, to me, Toney, however you say his name, he's automatic the number two.
Okay.
You're going to have Galladay, and Shepard's there.
Right.
But I feel like Shepard could be more efficient as a number three.
Okay.
You put Shepard against a number three, he's cooking them every time.
Okay.
Cooking them.
Okay. I can respect it. Rookies scare me. Rookies scare me when I have sums of money on the line. So as far as fantasy, like, I get it, and I've seen the film, and I agree with you, but the fact that he's not taking an NFL snap in his life, in a game time situation, does concern me as far as fantasy goes. That's just me personally. My second fantasy sleeper is actually a little bit of a homer pick. I'm taking Corey Davis. I know when the Jets signed him, I shit on him a little bit. He's only had 1,000-yard, receiving season, and that was his last season, so we're showing improvement. I know the Jets' offense is in complete fucking shambles. He's on a new team with a new quarterback, with a new fucking coach, and I have no reason to believe that he would do outstanding. I'm still going to take him. I think that he's going to be one of the more sure-handed leaders on that team. I think although Denzel Mims has way more potential, he's been hurt too much. Jamison Crowder's been the go-to guy, and I love him for it. But I'm taking Corey Davis. I think he's going to get a lot of targets this year. I think Zach Wilson and him are going to make a very good friendship.
Corey Davis kind of makes me feel how you feel about Crowder. But,
I mean, I'm not trying to shit on Crowder by taking this.
No, but I can see it. It's weird because we don't know who Zach Wilson's number one is going to be.
Right.
Like, on paper, yeah, we got Corey Davis, Mims, Crowder, and Crowder technically should be the number one receiver, even being a slot receiver.
Right.
So in my eyes, until someone proves otherwise, he should be the number one receiver.
Right. Well, that's what I'm saying.
But you can't because of his position. You don't want to put him on the slot. I mean, on the outside.
Right.
There's so much inconsistent. I mean, Corey Davis is the most consistent, but the most inconsistent, I guess, at the same time.
Right.
You don't know what he's going to bring to the table. Producing. Yeah, we don't know what he's going to bring to the table, but at the same time, he's the most tenured guy in the league and most productive guy in the league so far out of the receivers in our core.
Right. And I mean, look, he got 1,000 yards with Ryan Tannehill and the run-heavy Titans. You know what I'm saying? Like, so that's kind of my theory. As part of me is like, okay, we really don't know what Salah's going to dial up on the offense and how he's going to be. Based on my experience with defensive-minded coaches, he's probably going to be more of a ground and pound.
Are they putting Davis on the outside or the inside?
As far as when he was with the Titans, I'm
saying with the Jets.
I would put him on the outside. I'd pair him with Mims on the outside, opposite of Mims. I like that. I like that a lot.
Crowder underneath. Crowder on the inside with who's the other one? I forgot.
As far as receivers go, fuck me, I don't. The Jets receivers are like Elijah Moore.
Moore, yeah, we still got Elijah Moore is supposed to be a fucking.
I thought about Elijah Moore. I thought about him for like my second fantasy sleeper. It's just something about a rookie quarterback and a rookie wide receiver with a rookie offense that fucks me up too much. That I
I wouldn't put it at that. But Elijah Moore is supposed to be a very good product coming out.
I think after this season, I think Elijah Moore may springboard himself to one of your,
after this season, he gets traded to Kansas City. Him and Patty Mahomes link up. He becomes one of the all-time great wide receivers in playoff. That's what's going to happen. That's usually what happens for the Jets.
Averages 20 touchdowns a game. Yeah. Yes. But with that being said, sir, let's talk some more fantasy over on the Degenerates.
Let's do it.
So, guys, before we let you go, like, follow, share, anywhere where you get your podcasts. We're on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, Sports Me. Download Sports Me. And go find me on TikTok. I'm always
what the degenerates are.
Hit him with it.
Bam, 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 bam. I said what I said, bitches. Bam, bam, bam. Bam, 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 bam.